Moms, I know divorce can be really messy, but selling your engagement ring can actually be quick, easy, and stress-free with Worthy. Worthy uses their expertise, technology, and connections to get you the absolute most for your jewelry with no hidden fees. Plus, just for my audience, Worthy gave me a special offer to share. When you sell your jewelry through Worthy, you'll receive a $100 Amazon gift card when your jewelry sells for over $1,500. Ready to move on from your ring? Head to worthy.com/moms to get started today. That's worthy.com/moms for the special bonus offer.
If you look at my story on paper, like, it should have destroyed me. It was such a challenging thing to go through. It was horrible. I mean, I married my high school boyfriend. We'd been together since we were 17 and 18 years old. So I did not see this coming at all. And I learned that I can do something that's hard and I can be okay.
Welcome back to another Moms Moving On. I am your host, Michelle Dempsey-Multack, and I'm so excited today because we're going to be switching things up a little bit and talking to a real mama, because back when we shared some real mama stories with you on the podcast, you guys really love to hear from another mom just like you, not a divorce professional, not anybody working with clients, but somebody who has gone through it, been through it, and come through the other side. Nicole, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yes, happy to be here.
Well, let us know. Tell us a little bit about you, Nicole, the real mama of the day.
My name's Nicole, and I have 3 children. I'm a single mom to 3 kids. I have 2 biological children, and my middle son is adopted from Ethiopia, which has obviously presented its own set of challenges through the divorce process. I've been single mom for 3 years, and my whole life changed. Everything changed. My life as I knew it basically fell apart overnight. Some people contemplate divorce for a long time. Some people think about it. I was not one of those people. Divorce was not on the table for me. It wasn't an option until I found out things that I thought were true were not actually true.
Oh my goodness.
So that all happened during the pandemic.
Oh my God.
I was home alone with my kids.
Yep.
And yes, and I have flashbacks to a friend and I sitting on the beach, and she said to me, "And how are you handling the pandemic?" And my response was, "What pandemic?" I haven't even processed that part yet.
Right.
Because I was dealing with everything else. And 6 months later, I was officially divorced. I tried to save the marriage and it didn't work. And I had to restart. I mean, my whole life completely over. I moved 16 hours south so I could live near my parents because I needed some help.
Okay, wait. We need to go back. In the pandemic,
yes,
you found out some things that you thought were true but weren't.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm intrigued. Share as much as you feel comfortable. If not, that's okay too.
There were just a lot of things that were happening in the background. So think Lifetime movie meets Jerry Springer. And I was completely unaware to everything.
You are not the father? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Completely unaware to all the things that were happening behind the scenes and really it was my own intuition that guided me there. I sat in my house. It always is. And if I learned anything, it's just to trust myself. And I sat in my house by myself alone in the pandemic. And I'm like, why am I alone? I'm looking at up and down the street, 2 cars in every driveway but mine. I'm like, why am I alone? So I did my own research and I found out a lot of things that I was never supposed to know. I read emails I was never supposed to read. And my whole life fell apart in a few minutes.
But yet somehow you're sitting here looking completely peaceful and beautiful and at ease. And so I need to know what happened since 2020.
It has been a long journey. And I'm not going to say that it's been all pretty. It hasn't been roses and unicorns and rainbows. There's been really hard days. I had to hit my very own rock bottom, which consisted of me laying on my laundry room floor, basically begging my husband, pick me, choose me, pick us, pick our family. And he didn't. And
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it happens. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not unique in this situation. I have learned there's a lot of people who go through things like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing to talk about it today, and
Right.
I do share my story, but I'm not unique in this way. Like, these things happen, these stories are out there. And I did a lot of things to heal my pain. I sat in it and I cried a lot, and there were some really hard days. I did a lot of writing. I wrote a lot. I journaled a lot. I listened to all your podcasts. You've been with me in my kitchen while I'm washing dishes late at night,
I'm
listening to
so glad I've
you.
been able to be helpful. I mean, for me,
Yes.
it was, and I'm sure because I talk about this all the time, but I do this almost like to give people what I didn't have, which was like a connection,
Yes.
or to feel seen and heard and understood. And just knowing that it helps somebody feel less alone.
Yeah.
I think that's worth all the work for sure. So
Yeah.
that makes me feel good. So you have 3 kids
Yes.
and you moved 16 hours south.
Correct.
Now,
I bought
for
a house down
anybody,
the street from my parents to help me.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. But for anybody listening who wishes they could just pick up and leave and start new, they're bound by something called a parenting plan. So how did that work out for you that you were able to relocate? Because those are some of the most challenging issues in family court.
Yeah. And that was all part of the settlement and the divorce process. And one of the hardest parts for me, I'm a very like emotional person, and I feel my feelings a lot. And I learned very quickly through the divorce process that the judge, even my own attorney, my ex, did not care about my feelings. They did not care about how I felt about anything. So I had to feel those things on my own, but then come into that family court process viewing my divorce as they did, a legal contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked really hard to view my divorce as a legal contract to protect me financially, for my children, through the divorce process. And I was able, as part of the settlement, to relocate.
Wow. And so are you co-parenting? Or are you fully single parenting?
I have 90% custody.
Okay.
The kids are with me most of the time. My ex does take the kids now every other weekend and for some time in the summer. And I'm grateful for that he's showing up for them. And
Me
my
too.
kids need him to be part of their lives because he's their father.
Yeah.
So,
So he makes the commitment to travel 16 hours every other weekend.
correct.
You know, I don't love him for what he did to you, whatever that was, but that is ultimately at the end of the day what we wish for our children, is that both
100%.
parents can show up and make them feel seen and heard. So I am
Yeah.
so excited for your kids. And how old are your children again?
14, actually almost 15, almost 10, and 8.
So they were 5, 7, and 11 when you went through this.
Mm-hmm.
Those are difficult ages. So how, I think for a lot of parents, moms especially,